I just want to say, for all the Reese Copers out there, while I can't drink anymore due to a genetical issue of my liver, I'm pouring one out for you all right now. You didn't deserve this. No one did. Hey, we're back. 2 weeks in a row, a new Chainsaw Man chapter has dropped, and this one had a lot of hype going on around it, and I gotta say, I think this chapter delivered, though I am sort of biased, right? But the absolute display of pure unadulterated Asatism that was on display is truly something that we should take note of. This girl, bless her heart, just cannot catch a break. So let's dive into the chapter and discuss it all, and today's video is a big one, so if you enjoyed this chapter of Chainsaw Man, then let us know. Drop a like on the video and leave a comment. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a Giga Chat S and 10 being Asatistic, where is Asa sitting after this chapter? Let us know. We're waiting in bated breath. Also, funnily enough, if you hear a chainsaw, that's because, well, there are actually people outside cutting stuff down, as you could hear, but I just, need to record this and get it out. And, it's also fitting, but I'll do my best to cover it up either way. So the chapter picks up from 156 directly, and the title of this chapter is College Fund, which is in reference to Asa Mitaka's growing powers and money. However, the first image we see in this chapter is a striking one. Asa Mitaka and Famine are standing together, and I theorized last week that Fami could possibly be involved, as Asa on her own likely wouldn't be able to infiltrate such a facility. As well, this is notable because last week I saw many people theorizing that the person to break out Denji and those legs were Reese's. I felt that maybe was a little too good to be true, and it seems I was right. Though one thing to note is that Asa hasn't regrown or healed back her arm, meaning that, hey, maybe Asa Mitaka is now the new black swordsman and will, just deal with having no arm. And honestly, I'm down for that. Chicks are cooler the less arms they have anyways, which is a joke that sounded cooler in my head. Anyways, this also is significant because this means that, as Fami alludes to later, Asa is weak. She can still very easily get hurt and die, and her missing that arm, despite Fami being able to help her with that injury, maybe isn't someone who can just erase mortal wounds. Maybe her extent to helping her probably goes to simply just maybe like speeding up the healing process of the body and then some, rather it being some form of magical healing like, I don't know, like Best Girl, Shadowheart, and Baldur's Gate. So Fami asks Asa if her arm hurts, which Asa simply says that it's fine and to forget about it. This is notable mostly because I feel like the Asa that Denji saved from the Falling Devil wouldn't have taken too kindly to her arm being severed from her body, but here we are. Asa has really went through a good amount of change to now reacting in such a way where saving Denji is more important to her than her own arm being injured and, well, gone. Though she continues by asking Fami why the school uniforms, and she says that it's basically to help alleviate suspicions as they approach, so they won't fire on them immediately because apparently they offer school tours for kids to a prison facility for devils. Yeah. I'm starting to think I don't want to live in the Chainsaw Man world like at all, even if it has all the best worst women, we'll say. I don't know if it's even worth that. We also get a super smooth transition from Asa to Yoru. All she cares about really at this point is knowing if Chainsaw Man is in the facility, which Fami doesn't answer immediately, not until she addresses Famine properly as Fami. And let me tell you, there is something so wild about Famine, the embodiment of a devil in a human body, that needs to be addressed by her own given pet name, otherwise she won't respond. That's just so sassy. I love it. So Yoru relents and Fami spills the delicious beans, the deli cows beans, I should say, that he's being held in underground floor B3, and that to get there, by the way, is that a reference to JJK? Because Gojo was held in floor B5. Just saying. Was that a reference? But anyways, to get there, they have to destroy the entrance, which will be Asa's plan, not Yoru's. Can I just say though, guys, gals, it's so nice to be here, Asa, Yoru, and Fami saving Denji. It just warms the cockles of the heart, People actually care about Denji enough to go to this facility and actually save him, risking it all so they can get back their precious little Din. It really does bring a tear to my eye, And as they say, tears are the pre-cum of the heart. Switching back over to Asa from Yoru, she asks that beating Chainsaw Man will save Chainsaw Man, to which Fami says, well, yes. This line was really interesting, and I think something we should all pay attention to closely. Now, why in the hell would they be breaking into a top-guarded government facility with trained men and women to ultimately save Denji to only break him out to beat him up? But, then again, also knowing Denji being beaten up by Asa and Fami, maybe that isn't the worst thing in the world to him? At this point, I'm not sure. But Yoru then senses that Asa may be getting cold feet, but she assures her that she isn't, instead focusing more on wanting to save Chainsaw Man because he is the one who multiple times over at this point has saved her. So she feels indebted to him and that it's her turn to do the saving, to which I gotta say, we need it, y'all. We need Denji and Asa to be the one to actually somehow work together. This is quite possibly the only girl outside of maybe Riz to have ever truly cared for Denji without her even knowing it's really Denji, which is the funny part. Their interaction after they break out, it's gonna be legendary. It's gotta be legendary. Record high engagement, Twitter accounts all over the globe sighing out of their goddamn minds, exasperated over the sheer potential of happiness that these two could have. The badassery of Yoru and Chainsaw Man fighting together as Kobeni somehow gets caught in the middle of it, stuttering, sweating, tripping. Disgusting. I love it. God damn it, I ship it. This is like Okarun and Momo all over again. Just let it be, Fujimoto. Let it be. So they walk up to the gates as the security goes to, activate the turrets to just, innocently slaughter Asa and Fami, who very clearly, if you're like some random security guy, there is no way you see these two girls and go, yeah, they're kids, kill them or something, I don't know. It's just crazy that in this world, people working in this position have gotten to the point where mowing down people who look like civvies, especially children no less, will get slaughtered for just walking up to a gate. Like I said, I'm not moving to the world of Chainsaw Man anytime soon. I don't even think you could pay me any sum of money at this point for me to do that. So the automatic turrets pop out from the ground to deliver them their, supposed ill fates, but the turrets don't fire, which at first I didn't know what the hell was even going on, but then it clicked. This is Asa's powers growing. As Fami explains, basically Asa, because of her connections to the Chainsaw Man Church, she was compensated a total of 1.33 million yen. Using those funds, she theoretically purchased these turrets when she signed a contract that Fami drew up. Now, at the very least, this is just how Asa perceives it. There are two aspects of this, one less important and more of a general question, but before the aforementioned, that Asa has really grown her powers once more, showing that now she is able to control things by using loopholes in the way her own power works to fully manipulate and take advantage of it. Technically, in her mind, she owns these turrets because she bought them with her hard-earned money. It's so genius when you think about it. So with this in mind, if Asa knows something exists and she wants control over it, all she needs to do is figure out, technically, a loophole in her powers logic to control it. Theory, Asa's powers just became maybe one of the most overpowered in the entire series, as she can, like I said in theory, control anything as long as she is the smarter party and can, that's a problem. We'll get to that later. But if she is the smarter party in that situation, she can figure out a way to perceive it as hers. So she orders her turrets to fire and it decimates the entrance, obliterating it. And because of this moment, I now have a new Discord emoji of Asa doing whatever the hell this is. It looks cool, so it's going in the Discord. Also, you can join the Discord server. We chill and we wild all at the same time. It's pretty great. But also she calls it college fund turrets. Oh my God. That's hilarious. And let me tell you, I saw a Reddit post. Someone calculated the amount of money, 1.3 million yen, in American doll hairs, and it turns out that Asa's entire college fund was a mere $11,000, which means she may be going to public college at best, lol. Poor Asa. Yoru then says that there is no way she could have bought these turrets for that price, and it's a good thing Asa is so naive, which... yikes. I feel like Chainsaw Man Part 2 has presented Asa subtly as the dumbest goddamn character outside of maybe like Denji. But then again, I wouldn't even call Denji like dumb. He's a little stupid, but he's also sort of smart too. Whereas Asa is just, well, as Twitter put it, she's kind of a girl failure and autistic, and it's just hard to not find that charming about her. She may be dumb, but goddamn, she's pretty good at it. Fami then comments that because of her growing fears of war, that Asa and Yoru were right in that they would be able to turn anything into weapons without having to touch them. And like I said, that is one incredibly overpowered trait to have. Just imagine if Asa wasn't wildly dumb and instead instead had the personality trait of a domineering woman who felt like she owned everything, like, you know, I want to see your manager kind of energy, or just was like a sociopath. It would indeed be over for probably everyone at that point. But Asa, upon seeing her bang up job, literally, and powers at work, is ecstatic that she actually was right and was able to control the turrets without touching them. Honestly, seeing Asa happy, even though the context is rather strange, it's nice to see. Nice she's at least happy. So the two girls enter the facility as the people in charge get ready to enter combat mode, only to find their weapon systems aren't functioning or activating, leading to them thinking that they're dealing with devils. But the best part about this is that there is a panel which shows Asa and Fami running together, and Fami is like, I don't even know how to describe it, but like speed walking? It's just an amazing visual to see her do that really stiffly while Asa is all serious and shit running. It also is so like Fami to do that, as she has like this resting, well, it's not like bitch face, but it's like, it's just face, like resting face, I guess. You can't really read her at all. Maybe the best poker face of all time, honestly. But one of them recognizes her as Asa Mitaka of the Chainsaw Man Church, which he then says that they must know they're holding all the Chainsaw Man Church's leaders underground in this facility, and they must be here to break them out. That's an interesting mention. With this being the case, I wonder if they'll also break them out and not just Denji, as well with theories that this facility maybe is housing people like Reese. Maybe they will be able to break out more people along the way, or even pick up a couple new friends and faces. This is where Fami tells Asa and Yoru that they won't be able to control the weapons up ahead, and that if push comes to shove, they'll have to face the soldiers head on. Which Asa swiftly reminds Fami that she is indeed missing an arm, and that she would, she should be the one to fight him, which, you know, is sound logically, only that, well, Fami is their trump card, and trump cards are always saved for last. So in an all-time moment for Asa Mitaka's character, Fami reminds her to be careful. Even though she's grown so much stronger, making even a single mistake could potentially lead to her and Fami's demise. Asa hears her loud and clear. She says, okay, I got you. She's ready to go Metal Gear Solid on this bitch. As she goes to sneak, ladies and gentlemen, she trips and falls straight on her face. Asa Mitaka, man. I gotta give it to you, you tried your best, but your best wasn't enough. Tripping and falling in the high-tech facility like this, after going full badass at the entrance, after losing an arm, after saying she'll save Chainsaw Man? Jesus. I don't think anyone could help her at this point. It may just in fact be true what people say about Asa. She may be a girl failure through and through, and it just amazes me how through all of it, every bit of it, all of this is subtle. Out of context, Asa is a badass. But in context, she's a train wreck. How can you just not love that juxtaposition of those two character traits? I love it. Personally, I think we need more of it. So of course, they're spotted, and so Fami, calling Asa a klutz, which is fair game, pulls out some sort of phallic looking thing, like it looks like one of Sukuna's fingers or something, and the chapter ends. My mind immediately went to Fami summoning the falling devil, as we know she has control over her and she transformed into a mummified looking doll at the end of her respective arc. Granted, it looked like a mini version of her, so it's likely not the falling devil, but it could be another devil or fiend that Fami has in her back pocket, all dried out with salt, ready to be doused in water, like those little dinosaur capsules you got as a kid. Either way, this chapter was just so much fun, and a nice little bridge episode for the chapters that are going to undoubtedly be coming next week. That will be massive. I am just so freaking happy though that Asa is back in focus. I've always loved her character, and I felt she only ever gets undeserved hate. And I don't want to blanket judge people, especially a group of people, so I'm going to try to be more narrow and specific and continue to discuss this, but there is clearly a group of people who read Chainsaw Man and really don't care anything for character development or story, and see that as a weakness because maybe they're just really young and literally can't understand it, or simply think blood and guts, that aspect of the series is more entertaining and better than the actual storytelling. I personally and subjectively find that honestly absolutely stupid, and I think Asa's character is pretty much perfect and a great co-main character for Denji and Nayata. Now I'm going to use this example, but JJK isn't relevant in this, so I'm not making those comparisons. I'm going to use the metaphor to kind of make a point here, so just know I'm not like hating on JJK as many people will know, my main channel kind of focuses on JJK. I sort of love it. But I saw a Twitter post, don't remember from who, but they said that Jujutsu Kaisen is like McDonald's and Chainsaw Man is a 5-star restaurant. One of them is very cheap, accessible, and good food, but is woefully unsophisticated, somewhat bland, but still good and worth the money. Not my words, Twitter post. While Chainsaw Man is food with rich taste, spices, and you remember it and yearn for more of it afterwards. And honestly, I couldn't agree more with the idea behind that metaphor used in this context, because that being said, I'm still a huge fan of both, but I just thought if we use that analogy and replace JJK and Chainsaw Man with Chainsaw Man haters and Chainsaw Man enjoyers, it's sort of fairly apt for the response this series gets from a small group, obviously a very vocal minority of the overall general shonen crowd. Simply put, Chainsaw Man to me is just more than one thing. It's not McDonald's. It's many things, and I for one am so fucking excited for the next chapter. Next week, on March 12th at 11th, be here, because I'll be here, and you better be here too, because I'm super hyped. Also, thank you everyone for last week's video. It is now, and I'm so stoked about this. It is my most popular Chainsaw Man video on this channel, and I went from 3,900 subscribers to 4,100. So to show my appreciation, I am working on both a Reese video and as well a video on Tatsuki Fujimoto's look back, both of which will be coming out this month, one of them pretty soon. But if you want to further support what I do here, then consider becoming a patron or buying up some of my merch, both of which are great ways to support the channel. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.